Hi, everyone. Welcome and thank you for joining us. My name is Robin Lopez, Principal Community Relations Officer at LA Metro. So once again, thank you for joining us and welcome to our D-Line Subway Extension Construction Update meeting. Today, we'll be providing updates on all three sections of the project, as well as highlighting some of Metro's business mitigation programs. Next slide. We know your time is important, so once again, thank you for joining us today. We strongly encourage you to be an active participant in this meeting by using the Q&A feature that is listed on the screen and by submitting any questions or comments that you may have during the presentation. This meeting will also be recorded and it will be posted on our project website and distributed to our project email distribution list. Next slide. Now I'd also like to introduce our Facebook groups on the Metro Westside. So you can join the conversation on the Westside City's Facebook group, stay up to date with latest construction information, community events, and project updates. You can join by visiting facebook.com/group/Metro Westside. And we also have the QR code that is listed on the screen. And now here are a couple additional ways that you can stay connected with Metro updates and informed about what's happening across the system. Each update highlights upcoming service changes, community events, project milestones, and writer resources. You can check these pages regularly or subscribe to receive timely updates that help you plan, connect, and stay ahead. So these are the links that we have on the screen, and you'll see the website, the link for the website, the link to get the emails, Friday emails, and our community relations newsletter. I will also be inputting all of these links in the chat so that they are available to you. Regular fare riders can now tap a credit or debit card, Apple Pay or Google Pay to ride Metro, while still receiving free transfers and fare capping benefits. Tap cards are still available and should continue to be used by reduced fare and GoPass riders. And also, reduced fare credit and debit card payments are to be expected in 2027. So now Metro has launched a new public safety hub and dashboard. This public safety hub brings important safety information, data, and rider resources together in one easy access place. Riders can view regularly updated safety trends and learn more about Metro's ongoing efforts to improve safety and security across the system. And this is my final slide, and we are happy to share that Section 1 of the Metro D-Line extension opened on May 8th, and this includes 3 new stations at Wilshire La Brea, Wilshire Fairfax, and Wilshire La Cienega. This milestone extends subway service further west. It improves travel times and provides stronger regional connections for residents, workers, and visitors. For more information about the opening, you can visit metro.net/D-Line. Next slide. So once again, thank you for your time and thank you for joining us. All of the links that I shared in the previous slides will be added onto the chat. So please take a look out for those. And if you have any questions, a reminder to please use the Q&A section. And now I will hand it off to our Community Relations Manager, Juan Solorio.
Thank you, Steph. Hi, everyone. My name is Juan Solorio, and I'm the manager for community relations on the D-Line Subway Extension project. On behalf of Metro Community Relations, I am pleased to welcome everyone to today's meeting. Where we'll be providing updates on the various segments of this project. As always, Metro Community Relations is committed to our mission to engage stakeholders as Metro plans, builds, and operates a world-class transportation system through strategic, proactive, and accessible engagement. We're committed to our goals to actively engage, inform, and educate the public while providing opportunities for input and feedback and amplifying the voice of our community members. And before we get started, I just want to do a brief overview of our team. As I mentioned, my name is Juan. I'm the Community Relations Manager for all three sections of the project. Today, you'll be hearing briefly from Ned Racine. Mindy Lake won't be speaking today, but she is our liaison to the community and to our stakeholders in Section 2. Today, you'll be hearing from our contractor representatives for Section 1 and Section 2 of the project. Um, Want to say thank you to our strategic and programming team. You've already heard from Robin Lopez, who's helping us facilitate today's meeting. And later on, you'll hear from our Metro Construction Mitigation Program representatives, Aaron Choi and Eileen Parugao, on the different ways that Metro is supporting our businesses while we build a world-class transportation system. With that, we can go to the next slide. And today's agenda, again, we'll be providing updates on the different sections of the project. We'll be highlighting some of our business mitigation programs so that folks are familiar with those resources that Metro has. Let me go to the next slide. And as always, we like to provide a quick overview of the project alignment. As you can see here, the D-Line Extension project is being built in three sections. The current terminus now includes Section 1, which opened on May 8th. But prior to that, the previous terminus was Wilshire and Western, and we're excited to have opened three new stations, Wilshire La Brea, Wilshire Fairfax, and Wilshire La Cienega. This part of the project was almost 4 miles long. Next, we'll go to section 2, which will welcome the Beverly Drive station and the Century City station. And lastly, in the fall of 2027, we'll be welcoming two more stations, Westwood UCLA and the Westwood VA Hospital. And this alignment is a historic leap for providing mobility for Angelinos and everyone visiting the city. So this is a mega project that we're near completion and excited to bring to the residents of LA County. And with that, we can go to the next slide. Here we just have again a brief overview of the project schedule for Section 1, Section 2, and Section 3. As you can see in the operations row, we've opened Section 1, and the forecasted dates for Section 2 is spring 2027, and Section 3 it's fall of 2027. But as always, construction is dynamic, and these dates are subject to change. And with that, we can go to the next slide. And the significance of this project, as I mentioned, this is a historic leap for LA City and our transit system. This is a project that's going to transform how Angelinos get from and around LA City and LA County. Our goal is to provide high capacity, reliable transit to Los Angeles Westside, connecting Angelinos to one of the region's densest employment and cultural centers. Sometimes the West Side is considered its own downtown. And so providing alternative methods of transportation to Angelinos is a priority for Metro, and also getting them there quickly and frequently. And so this is again a mega project that is going to transform how Angelinos get around. And with that, we can go to the next project, and I'll turn it over to Ned Racine, our Principal Community Relation Officer.
Thank you, Juan. Here is an overview of Section 1. And of course, one of the key things is the number of significant attractions that Section 1 opens to you by rail. You can see the Tar Pits Museum, the El Rey, Saban. Next slide. We wanted to show you the history of Section 1 and its building since it's up and running. So we're going to start with that, which is the pin, we call it, at one of the stations. Next slide. Here was the center shaft on Wilshire La Brea. It was actually a little bit east of Wilshire La Brea. And it was called the muck shaft because that's where we took out a lot of material from the tunnels and station construction. We reduced the lanes on Wilshire a little bit to do that. Um, a lot of the La Brea station actually is east of La Brea, which is why we could do that. And on the right is the Passage 26, Wilshire Stanley. Um, it's a federal law that about every 800 feet you have to have a cross passage, which connects the two tunnels, the twin tunnels for the D line. That allows if a train stops, passengers can cross to the other tunnel. It's a safety measure. And there's 26 cross passages on Section 1 to the point of Wilshire Stanley. Next slide. Here we are removing muck from the tunnels. What happened was the tunnel boring machines would cut through the ground and send the soil that they had carved up to the back of the machine, and they were taken by a conveyor belt to the La Brea station. The Brea station had a vertical conveyor belt where it would take the soil, the muck, to the surface where trucks would take it out. About 16 hours a day, trucks would take that soil to other places. Here's a relief shaft, we called it, at Wilshire Western. It was our smallest yard, so soil would be taken out of there and transported. Next slide. Here is what a tunnel boring machine looks like. There is one facing west. They're about 240 feet long. It has art created by a student. Metro always does that. Next slide. Here is high-density polyethylene. The stations are wrapped in that to prevent water from entering the station. So all the stations are wrapped in that. And on the right, you can see some of the rebar put in the La Brea station, a tremendous amount of steel in those stations to support the concrete that forms the walls and floor. Next slide. Here's a breakthrough of one of the TBMs. You can see the blades there at the front of the tunnel boring machine. I believe there's 19 on these that just chew through the soil just like a giant cheese grater. What we did, because the Wilshire Western station was so small, when the TBM reached Wilshire Western, was taken apart, put on trucks, and then about 2 in the morning was taken back to the La Brea station where it traveled west. Next slide. Here is the appendage work at Wilshire Fairfax. An appendage is something that is not strictly the station box, but is required for the station to be used. That can be emergency exits, things like that. And there is an appendage entry on Orange and Wilshire, and that allowed crews to go down through that entrance and enter the station directly when it was under construction. Next slide. It's no secret, a lot of methane in the city of Los Angeles because the city of Los Angeles sits on a pool of oil. And so we had to spend a couple months extracting methane from the Carthay Circle area, Carthay Circle and Wilshire. So we had 4 or 5 machines lined up on Wilshire to extract the methane, mix it with oxygen, and then burn it, which produces water vapor. We had to do that before the tunnel boring machine proceeded west through that area of the project. Next slide. Here is the Wilshire San Vicente anomaly work. We found through radar, ground penetrating radar, that there was some kind of steel structure there under Wilshire San Vicente. We never really identified what it was, but it was too big, too much metal to have the tunnel boring machines go through there. They could damage the blades, slow the project. So what happened is workers had to build rooms underneath there temporarily and take out the steel and then remove the rooms so that the tunnel boring machines could go by. When people ask me why Section 1 was delayed, this is one reason, the discovery of the steel under the Wilshire-San Vicente intersection. And there is tunnel boring machine breaking through into the La Cienega station. It's about 22 feet in diameter. So the finished tunnels are about 21 feet in diameter, as all metro tunnels are. Next slide. And there is a decking removal. Now, the way stations are built is the road surface is removed, steel, mammoth steel beams are put in place. They hold up very thick temporary concrete deck panels. And once that's installed and cars can run over those, we start excavating the stations from the top down. Then, of course, when you've got the roof down, you put dirt on top of it, soil, so that it reaches, it fills the gap between the station roof and the road surface. Then you have to take those temporary deck panels away, and that is what this shows. It's quite a undertaking. Usually we have to do it over the course of a couple weekends. Next slide. Here is station construction. On the left, you can see we're building a platform where the trains arrive and pick up and drop off passengers. At the top of the photo on the left, you can see the drop-down ceiling, which of course is now complete in the 3 stations. And on the right, you have another view of a platform before the lights are installed. Many, many steps to get Section 1 running. Next slide. This is the final paving work. After the deck panels have been removed, we put down the final surface for Wilshire, and frankly, Wilshire hadn't looked that good in a long, long time. And then we stripe it, and then it's open for traffic without the concrete deck panels. And here is the Wilshire La Brea entrance. You can see the art is hung. All of the stations look the same, the station entrances. This was an effort on the part of Metro to reduce the number of parts it had to have on hand. So it's deliberate that they all look the same. You can see the translucent glass. This is the same, whether it's the Fairfax station or the Century City station. They all look the same. Next slide. And here is Wilshire La Cienega. And Jeff, are you taking over at this point?
Sure, Ned. Appreciate the history there.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, so as Ned said, you can see the La Cienega rendering, and now you can see it actually in real life out there at the intersection of La Cienega and Wilshire. Next slide, please. So Ned gave us some history of the project. Let me tell you what we have coming up in the short term here. So a lot of our work has been pretty much completed in the city of LA. However, we still carry a little bit of presence in the city of Beverly Hills. And what we're doing in Beverly Hills right now is we're completing some civil restoration that's up on the surface, which will ultimately get us to the final paving there in Beverly Hills and really complete our contract. So in the very short term, you will continue to see some of our surface crews, primarily west of La Cienega, focused on curb and gutter and pedestrian ramps at the intersections of Wilshire and Stanley and Wilshire and Ladue. Once you're able to, and also they will be working on the west side of Wilshire and La Cienega. In about the next 6 weeks, I anticipate that work being completed. That will then open us up, as I mentioned, to the final paving. That's the last real big hurrah that we have for our part of the project here. That paving will take place on, if you can show the next slide, please. That paving will take place really all the way from San Vicente down to Stanley, just west of La Cienega. You can see that here on the yellow in the graphic that's being shown. Then there's going to be detour routes, primarily that will go to the north, following San Vicente to get through our work area, or get around our work area if you're traveling westbound, and then a little bit more if you're going eastbound. It'll be a little bit more southern route to get around us. Please note that we still have some coordination that has to be completed with the city of Beverly Hills to approve these closures. So we are currently looking at how we can maybe reduce our footprint and make these a little bit easier on the traveling public that's out here. Next slide, please. So I would like to recommend if you need replacement parking while any of the street work is going on, you see the addresses there. And then if you mention Metro upon entering the building, you will receive the first hour free. Next slide, please. So let's talk really quickly. I'll show you guys some of the slides. There's been a lot of excitement here in our office, as far as the community about the grand opening of phase one. A lot of excitement there. So just kind of flip through the pictures here relatively quickly. Obviously, on the left-hand side, you can see one of the very first trains that was carrying the public through. And then on the far right, you can see one of our plazas over at La Cienega, just the excitement and all of the things that Metro brought as part of the grand opening. Next photo, please. There on the left there's the actual screen that you'll see when you go into our stations. And then over on the right-hand side, as you can see right at the noon opening time, you can see the public rushing down to get their first experience of the new line. Next photo, please. All right, then last but not least, some of the other work that you may see us doing intermittently. We've about completed all this work, but there is still some geotechnical instrumentation that's required to be removed before we leave and we complete our final paving. So do expect to be seeing some intermittent lane closures along La Cienega and Wilshire Boulevard. In addition to the civil restoration I was mentioning, we may also be removing geotechnical instrumentation, and you will continue to see some construction notices as that work progresses. And with that said, that completes our update for section one, and I'll turn it back over to Juan to give us a section two update.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate you. And so, yeah, we'll go into section two. Here you can see a really great rendering of one of those stations. And we can go on to the next slide. And so again, each section is going to transform the region as we open them. Section two of the D-Line subway extension project will extend rail service into Beverly Hills and Century City, connecting two of the Westside's premier business and employment destination. The project is going to create a faster, more reliable travel option, improve connections across Los Angeles County, and enhance access to jobs, businesses, shopping, and cultural destinations. Here you can see photos of Beverly Hills and Century City. Beverly Hills being one of the premier luxury shopping and dining destinations in the world, and Century City, which is a major hub for commercial and employment center. And with that, we can go to the next slide. And here I'll turn it over to Ryan Yearwood, who is the project information officer for section two.
Thank you, Juan. Good morning, everyone. Let's talk section two. Next slide, please. So here we just have what PLE2 encompasses, at least for our Beverly Drive station area. So we have our Cannon Yard across the street, where on the north side, where we see that triangle area. And on the south side, we have Reeves. And those will be the two main hubs for what we're doing for construction, the entranceway to the stations, and emergency exits. Next slide, please. And here we just have like a basic layout of what the interior of the station looks like. We have our concourse level roof, exterior walls, interior walls, and invert slabs, just showing a general idea of what we're looking at structurally for how the station is constructed. Next slide, please. So what we will be showing you is the completion of our point-supported glass system with the terrazzo tile installation at the entrance, as well as the installation in the entrance, the glass mosaic installation prep, some drop ceiling work, and then what the train station looks like. Next slide, please. So this personally is the most exciting part for me. This is our entrance. We are having our artwork installed bit by bit. We do have some artwork coming within the next few weeks where we'll have it in the entrance of the station. It'll also be in the stairways on the side and the left and right. So it's part of our interior artwork installation. And this is where we are so far. These pictures were taken, I want to say, a few weeks ago. We're in the same relative area, but things are moving along. It's really exciting to witness. Next, please. So this is where the installation of the concourse glass mosaic is going to go. It is actually set to be delivered on July 13th. Metro has provided some great artwork. We're all super excited to see what it looks like. No one knows yet, but we are prepping for that installation for next week. Next slide, please. Here we have the installation of the concourse / storefront area. We are still working on the terrazzo pavers at the bottom. There is some, we have to do some cleanup, but for the most part, we are on a good track and our storefront should be looking in top shape in no time. Next slide, please. Here is our station track level looking west. So this is going towards our Constellation station. Next slide, please. And this is what the train looks like going east. We are really good with how our train is being leveled out, the elevations, and we got the go-ahead to soon start testing for the electrical work in the station. So that's super exciting. Next slide, please. Okay, on the outside, for the next month or so, we are very south side heavy when it comes to street restoration on Wilshire. So basically between Cannon and El Camino, there is going to be a lot of south side sidewalk restoration work. It's going to include work on the curb, gutter, and sidewalk restoration all along the south side. Most of this work is happening primarily during the daytime between 7 and 4 p.m. We are constantly making sure that pedestrians have a way to walk, so no need to worry. And we're getting it done. July should be the month to complete that. Then north side is what's next. Next slide, please. We do have some work to perform in the Mayborn Alley, just to do some concrete restoration as well as geotechnical instrumentation removal. If I'm not mistaken, that should be done by the end of next week. And geotechnical instrumentation in that area should also be removed. And we'll be done with the Mayborn Alley. Next slide, please. Like I said before, we are very heavy on south side work of Wilshire for Beverly Drive Station. Very specifically for our Reeves Drive. We have work happening both on the east and west side of Reeves Drive. East will be done by next week, and then we'll over to Westside. There will be some impacts to some of the stakeholders. However, we do have construction notices to make everyone in the community aware of what's happening and also provide reroutes to both pedestrians and people going into the buildings. Next slide, please. Oh, next up, we have Century City. Next slide. Here's just a small image of where the station will be and what areas we are covering for construction. Next slide. We have completed our deck removal. Round of applause. However, we still do have some appendage work and sidewalk closures happening between now up until December of this year. Very similar to Wilshire, we are constantly making sure that pedestrian access is available so that we are not getting in the way of people who need to go to and from work. Next slide, please. The work at Constellation is going to be pretty northern bound focused for right now. We do have some south side work, but the intersection between Constellation and Avenue of the Stars is a main hub for some of our appendages that we are currently working on at the moment. We are mitigating noise and potential impacts to the stakeholders as well. And they are all aware of what's happening, and we're working closely to make sure everyone is comfortable and we get the work done. Next slide, please. For this month, we do have some south side work as well between Constellation and Avenue of the Stars. We are doing some saw cutting and breaking. However, that will happen in the daytime, so we won't disturb anybody who's sleeping. And at night, we will be doing our potholing work. This will be happening throughout the whole month of July, from the 1st to 31st. We actually already started it, and detours will be available to pedestrians for walking. Next slide. Here's just an overview of where our appendage work is happening. As you can see at the intersection of Avenue of the Stars, we do have a more congested area for that appendage work. We are working to make sure we get it all done as quickly as possible. And yeah, we're super excited to finish up. Next slide. So here is our pictures from Constellation. So on the left, you're going to see where our glass artwork is going to go for Constellation. We are actually in the middle of getting our mock-ups completed so that we can get that done as soon as possible. Same thing with Wilshire. We will have some interior glass work as well in the entrance area, going from the entrance to the intermediate level and then the intermediate level to the concourse. But this is where we are now. We still have some scaffolding. We're taking measurements and getting this artwork underway. Next slide, please. This is our train station track level looking west over into PL3. Next slide, please. And this is what the track level looking east, looking toward Beverly Drive Station. And like I said, we will be testing our tracks soon so that we can get everybody where they need to go. Next slide. This is what the platform level looks like. It's coming along very, very well. I actually think it might even look a little bit different than what it is now. We're working fast and diligently to make sure that our platform is covered. Next slide. And this is what the platform looks like. This is our concourse level looking west. We do have some construction and some site maintenance that we need to continue with, but we are making great progress. Next slide, please. Same thing. This is what our concourse looks like on the east side. Not the most exciting part of the project quite yet, but it is happening and we are moving along. Next slide. And here's the progress of our roof installation. We have come quite the ways since our last meeting, so super excited to see the end result of it. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that's it. Oh, and we have our signs. That's actually really exciting. So here's what our signage looks like at the bottom of the station. We have going toward Union Station and then toward Westwood. Next slide. Oh, and that's it. Thank you, everyone, for your time. And I will hand it over to Juan for section 3.
Thanks, Ryan. I'm actually going to turn it over to our Principal Community Relation Officer for this part of the project, Ned Racine.
Thank you, Juan. Ooh, look at that UCLA sweatshirt there. How nice. Next slide. The D line section 3 fulfills a line that Los Angeles County planners have had for quite some time, which is to bring downtown to the west side. Two stations, Westwood, UCLA, and West Los Angeles VA Hospital. It just so happens that Sarah and I were down in that station this morning. Next slide. Here is the footprint of the UCLA station, about 900 feet long, 64 feet wide, about 80 feet under the surface level. So not only are they complex structures, they're pretty large. Next slide. Here is the main entrance for UCLA station. Wilshire Boulevard is on your right. This is basically between Veteran and Gailey. So we're looking southeast. Next slide. The UCLA station is the only station on the D line that has 3 entrances. So besides the main entrance, which we've just seen, this is a northeast entrance, which is on the northwest corner of Wilshire Boulevard and Westwood Boulevard. Next slide. And here is a southeast entrance. This is the smallest entrance. This is also bordered by Westwood Boulevard and Wilshire Boulevard. Next slide. This is a shot of the UCLA station. The concrete for the roof has been poured. You'll notice that white surface. When the roof is poured, they'll start taking away the struts, which is those kind of rust-colored immense steel structures over there. They're called supportive excavation. They're needed initially before you've poured the walls and the floor to keep the walls apart, but you can see the progress there that the roof is poured. Next slide. This is a big deal. The UCLA station now has permanent power. It doesn't rely on generators. It has connection with LADWP, which means all of the train control electronics can start being installed. Next slide. Now we'll talk about the 2 secondary entrances. The northeast structure excavation is 100% complete. The waterproofing has been put in. We think construction of the northeast entrance will continue through 2026. And again, that is the northwest corner of Westwood Boulevard and Wilshire. Next slide. Here is a photo that shows the progress of the station. That is the high density polyethylene being put in, that plastic. That's waterproofing. 61% of the southeast entrance is done. 100% of the northeast excavation's done. Now we're putting in the MEP, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing equipment into the station. Next slide. Here is a porcelain tile that's been added that runs throughout the station. Next slide. Here is a recent photo of the platform area for the Westwood UCLA station. The escalators are not placed yet. You can see lights are in, the signs aren't in yet. And if you look on the right, you'll see that working rail is in there, but the contact rail has not been added. That is the rail that adds the 750 volts of power, which allows the subway to run. The subway gets its power from the third rail, also called the contact rail. Unlike light rail, it does not get its power from an overhead catenary line, one of the differences. Next slide. This is just an update of where we think this is going to fall. Main entrance construction, we think is going to finish fall 2026. Next slide. And this is another look at progress. We're going to continue building the secondary entrances through 2026. We have a temporary traffic control plan that will be in place for that year. We call it the steady state traffic control plan, which means reduced lanes on Westwood Boulevard and Wilshire. And of course, sometimes we work on a weekend. Right now, we're doing that for manhole placement and sewer work. And you can see those updated construction notices on the website. And also, you can write us if you'd like to become on our mailing list, and you can have that information delivered directly to your email box. Next slide. Now we're going to switch to the Westwood VA Hospital Station. This is not the permanent name for the station, just like Westwood UCLA is not the permanent name for the station. We're going through a station naming process, quite involved. We're still working through that process, and we'll announce, of course, the permanent names when the board has approved them. So what you're looking at now is you're looking northeast. These are the bridges. You'll see the pedestrian bridge that goes from Wilshire south on Bonsall. You'll see the entrance on the lower right, the entrance to the station. So there's also an escalator there to get you from, let's say, the level of the VA station to the north down to the platform level. I mean, the level of the station entrance. You'll also notice here is another view of that. I just was going to point out, if you can go back, sorry about that. If you go back to the previous slide, you'll notice there is a kiss and ride to the right where drivers can drop off passengers and leave. And also there is an area north of the south of the plaza where the buses can drop off. Next slide. Here's another view of that. If you look on the far left, that shape will be a mosaic commemorating veterans. Here's a close-up of the escalators that will go down to the Bonsall level and the stairs. And in the background, you're now looking south, you can see the hospital building. Next slide. Here is the footprint of the VA hospital, 1,081 feet long. That's within 1 foot of being as long as a Queen Mary, for those of you who like Long Beach. Again, about 80 feet underground and 64 feet wide. Next slide. Sometimes I think these should be called the rebar stations. It takes a tremendous amount of steel joining with the concrete to create these station walls. Concreting for the station box is 98% complete, almost done. And overall, the main entrance is 74% complete. Next slide. Some waterline work remains, not much. This was work to bring permanent water to the station. Right now, they're just finishing up a few details on the meters. So next quarter, I don't think we'll even need to talk about this work. Next slide. Here is some housekeeping going on in the tunnel, the BR tunnel, the twin tunnels. One is called BR, one is called BL. Here you can see the track is down and it's held in place by insulators, which reduce the vibration. You can see on the left is the walkway that runs the length of the tunnels, so they can be serviced. Permanent lighting has not been put in, temporary lighting has. You can see the tunnel curves ahead. The tunnels do not run perfectly straight, just like the tunnels don't run the same distance under the surface. They go up and down. Operators like that. Next slide. Here's more waterline work. We're almost done with that. Next slide. Here is a temporary mural. The permanent one will be mosaics. Next slide. Here is where we'll be putting in the pedestrian bridge. Next slide. This is the west side of the station. This is to the west of Bonsall. And what they're doing is they're taking out the supportive excavation that was there, that was necessary before the walls were poured and floor was poured. So they're taking that out now. When this area is done, it will be covered with grass and trees. And again, this is west of Bonsall. Next slide. This is what's going on now. When the station roof is done, we put in soil to fill in the distance between the top of the roof and the street level or the ground level. That's what's going on now. And we have a weekend coming up where a full closure of Bonsall will happen. That's June 24th to June 27th. And during a second weekend, which is unscheduled, they will put concrete on this part of Bonsall, and they will also work on the on and off ramp at the 405. And that'll take an entire weekend. And we, of course, will give you notice of that when we have it. Next slide. And this is just the current footprint of where the station is being constructed. You'll notice most of it is to the east of Bonsall, some part of it to the west. That was done because Bonsall is too important a thoroughfare for the VA to take that out for a period of time. And you'll also notice that the station actually runs under the ramp. Next slide. And now I'm going to introduce the Business Interruption Fund people.
Hello there, thanks Ned. I am Aaron Joy, and I'll be representing Metro's Business Interruption Fund program, also known as the BIF. Today, I'll be covering what our program is and also provide a short update on our progress so far. Next slide, please. So, what is the BIF? We are a construction mitigation program, meaning that we follow major metro rail construction and that we provide financial assistance in the form of grants to those businesses affected by construction activity. We're currently operating on D-Line Extension Sections 1, 2, and 3, as well as the East San Fernando Valley Light Rail Transit Project. A little quick note on D-Line Extension 1. So, as Section 1 opened back in May, we're still awarding grants, but only up to 6 months for impacts that occurred during construction activity, not after. And for prospective grantees, you would like to know that there are certain eligibility requirements that need to be met to actually receive a grant. Some of the big ones are that a business must be located immediately on the rail corridor, so not 2 or 3 blocks over, and that that business must have been there for at least 2 years prior to construction activity starting. Another one is that a business must have 25 or fewer full-time employees. And assuming those and other requirements are met, a business can receive a grant that is determined directly on provable revenue loss. And that grant can be an amount up to $60,000 per impact year. If you'd like to know more about this program, please visit us at metro.net/BIF. That's metro.net/BIF. Next slide, please. So on the screen, you can see a mapping of our D-Line Section 1 grants. A little bit on how to read this map. In the bottom right, you can see a table showing the various categories of our businesses on this map. And you can also see on the right-hand side our Wilshire Western station that is pre-existing, and the newer stations on the left-hand side, La Brea, Fairfax, and La Cienega. Regarding the makeup of this map and how the grants are concentrated, Because D-Line is underground heavy rail, most of the construction impacts are focused or concentrated around the actual stations themselves, as you can see reflected in the map. We'll see little clusters here, there, and there. Next slide, please. Okay, so D-Line 2, we do the same deal with the table in the bottom right. And you can see on the right-hand side, we have our La Cienega West station, and then the Beverly Drive station in the middle-ish area. And then on the left, we have our Century City grants. Again, you can see that the path the alignment takes and the concentration of businesses around the stations. Next slide, please. And lastly, we have D-Line 3. So we have our two stations here, our UCLA station with the businesses surrounding the station again, and also the VA hospital, which we don't have any grants for just yet. Next slide, please. Okay. So this slide shows the total amount awarded program-wide for the Business Interruption Fund program, and that is since our inception in 2015. In the actual chart, you can see our D-Line 1, 2, and 3 grants in the bottom left compared to the rest of our program on the right side. And in the table, you can see our progress so far to date. That would be $56 million across our 11 years of operation and 592 businesses assisted and over 2,000 grants awarded. Next slide, please. And for our Beverly Hills stakeholders, you can see a zoom in on how the stations in Beverly Hills measure up against the program-wide stations as well as the D-Line. Next slide, please. Lastly, our contact page. So in the portrait above, you can see our lovely program director, Ms. Angela Winston. If you have programmatic questions about the Business Interruption Fund, you can reach her at the email and phone number shown. And then if you have questions about an application regarding how to apply or an existing application you have with us, you can reach out to our fund administrator, that is Brian Miyamoto. And his email and phone number are shown on the screen as well. And with that, I'll hand it over to Eileen from Eat Shop Play.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Aaron. I'm Eileen Perungao. I am the Principal Community Relations Officer for Eat Shop Play. One of the most important parts of any major construction project is that making sure that the surrounding business community feels supported along the way. That's exactly what Shop Play Construction Mitigation Program was created. The program is designed to help local businesses navigate periods of construction by providing free marketing support, educational resources, promotional opportunities, and personalized coaching. Any businesses located within a quarter mile of the project alignment is eligible to participate at no cost. What makes this program especially valuable is that our outreach evolves alongside the project itself. As construction milestones approach, we tailor campaigns and communication to help businesses stay visible and connected to customers during those high impact periods. Businesses enrolled in the program have access to free monthly digital marketing webinars that focus on practical, timely topics for small business owners. We also provide tutorials covering online tools and platforms that help businesses strengthen their marketing efforts. In addition, enrolled businesses can receive one-on-one coaching sessions designed to help owners set goals, solve challenges, grow professionally. As opportunities become available, businesses may also be featured in print and digital promotional campaigns. Next slide, please. On this next slide, I'd like to highlight our upcoming free Eat Shop Play Accelerate webinar taking place on Wednesday, July 29th from 9 to 9:45, followed by a live Q&A session. This month, our workshop is called Make Your Website Work for You. And it's specifically designed for small local businesses, owners who want to improve their online presence. And the best part is that you don't need any technical or WordPress experience to participate. In just 45 minutes, participants will learn how to create a homepage that helps turn visitors into customers, organize your website so it's easy to navigate, and effective calls to action. You are able to build trust with your customers online and fix some of the most common WordPress mistakes. We know that for many customers, a business's website is their first impression, whether summing up your hours, browsing your services, or deciding whether to visit your business. So having a website that's easy to use can really make a real difference. This workshop is focused on simple, practical tips that business owners can use right away. Additional details can be found on our website at metro.net/eat shop play. And businesses can also register by using the QR code shown on this slide. This webinar is open to businesses located within a quarter mile of the select Metro construction corridors. And even if someone can't attend this live session, they can still enroll in our program and access the webinar recordings and connect with a one-on-one marketing expert for additional support. Next slide, please. Since the D-Line Section 1 opening in May, we've focused on keeping the momentum going beyond the grand opening moment. Rather than treating the launch as a one-time milestone, we've continued sharing stories that spotlight the local businesses along the corridor, showcasing what's neighborhood unique and giving people new reasons to visit and explore. To extend that reach, we've amplified these stories through our Eat, Shop, Play website and the Metro Friday email newsletter, help connect these businesses with a broader audience and encouraging continued engagement within the corridor. And my last slide. So every month, we shine a spotlight on 4 enrolled businesses through our Places We're Loving Right Now feature. So the goal here is to create consistent visibility and awareness for our local businesses throughout the construction process. So each month, we highlight a group of businesses and prioritize those that are experiencing the greatest impacts and ongoing construction activities. These featured businesses are shared with our project teams internally, and they're displayed on break room digital screens, printed throughout project offices and common areas, and distributed through internal communication. This gives our team an easy way to discover and support businesses in the communities we're working in. We also extend that visibility beyond our project offices by featuring these same businesses on our homepage. Each business photo links directly to their website, making it easy for employees and visitors to learn more about how we can support our local businesses. Through this ongoing monthly effort, we continue to keep local businesses top of mind and provide consistent exposure to businesses most impacted by construction throughout the duration of the project. And with that, I'll hand it back to Juan.
Thank you so much. And to conclude our presentation, we just want to make sure that the public knows how they can stay in touch with the most up-to-date information for the D-Line Extension project. On to the right, you can see the different methods of communication and channels that we provide updates on the project. If you aren't subscribed, please visit metro.net/D-Line. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, there is our contact information is there, and there's also a subscribe link. And that is one way that we send out information to folks interested in the project. Lastly, we want to share our next date for our presentations. In the city of Beverly Hills, we will be having our meeting on August 12th at 12 p.m. And that is a virtual meeting where we will specifically discuss the Beverly Hills stations that are under construction. And with that, that concludes our presentation. I don't see any questions open. And so I'd like to thank the public for joining us today. And oh, there is one here. Do you have a map showing the tunnels to Westwood? To the anonymous individual, if you email us at metrodline@metro.net, you can send us that question, and we do have graphics outlining the path of the tunnels, and we're happy to share those. And I believe you should also be able to find that on our project website. And with that, I want to thank everyone for joining today and hope you enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Thank you.